Today, we're going to dive into understanding the fundamentals of the 11th pillar of the Next Level UX training program. It's called Tools, People, and Systems. These are the core premise of what the foundation of Next Level UX was built upon. Because when you can understand your tools, when you can understand your systems, and when you can understand the people around you, you can start to have a compound improvement effect where you can get better, you can get more in flow, you can have better direction, better feedback, and better discipline on how you create as a maker, as a builder. So, without further ado, let's dive into this week's training. And first, we're going to dive into the three topics that we all experience every single day: the tools, the people, and the systems. But we've never taken time or taken an audit of what those things are in our own world, in our own ecosystem, so that we can improve them and improve the gaps, improve the inefficiencies, improve just anything inside of those units that we've never taken time to really truly understand. So today is the day that you start to understand it, because once you can do that, then you can start building a different level and a different capability of momentum. So let's dive right in. I want to show you the Next Level UX platform. You can come in here and learn about all these topics. And if you didn't yet know, we are now in week 11. We got one more week to go to finish our 12-week training program. But week 11 is about tools, people, systems, right? And when you come in here and you learn about it, you'll be able to see the replay that will show up here. And then you can go to the learn section, go to tools, people, and systems, and start doing some of the homework around this, understanding how this will affect your planning, understand how this will affect your creating abilities, your communication, how you learn, and how you start to map out these important topics around you. Remember, tools, people, systems. You can also complete the homework for this week to be able to help you map these things out. So when you do come in, understand what your planning tools are, your creating tools, your communication tools, your learning tools, how you express and do your social expression and sharing tools. And then when you get through that tools, people, and systems training, you can start doing some journaling about it as well, just to get you in flow. So remember that Next Level UX, you can organize this intention. You can start practicing it by doing a little bit of the journaling around this. And then when you really need some help, you can go in and ask our pro helper to kind of dive into this a little bit more about tools, people, and systems. So what's pulling your attention most right now? One of the three feels more alive or broken than the others. Which one? I would say my tools are sound, people are sound, systems could use some improvement. Systems is where the leverage is then. Of the three system pillars: goals, action, planning, and practice, which one feels most right now? I think I've gotten details on my goals, my action plannings, and my practice. So this is a good start. It's going to keep me thinking about, okay, are my goals in check? Are my action plannings in check? And are my practices to be able to make those things better in check? Yeah, they're pretty good. So this is a good starting point. But now I want to take us over into Figma, because you know that you can use Next Level UX to organize all that effort and all that work, getting your morning and your evening plans dialed in, understanding how you're showing up on a weekly basis, understand your monthly rhythms that you're trying to develop. But what happens when you started something brand new? You have a new team, you have a new life, a new maybe city that you're living in, you have a new relationship, you have new things that are intaking your life every day. If you can understand what tools do I have and what tools can I use at my disposal to make things better today? What tools could you go after? I was just talking about the learning tools, the practice tools, all these different tools for designing, for being a business owner, maybe for banking, for saving money. You got tools all over. But today, why don't you just take time and just start writing out, what are those tools for me? What the heck are those tools? What are they going to look like? What are they going to feel like? How are they going to work? What are I going to do with these tools? Just get into a mode where you can just write them down. So you could just do list one, list two, list three, list four. And you're going to probably be like, I have too many things, too many tools in my life. That's an opportunity for you, because once you know what those tools are, I want you to think about two different elements that will make them better. One is to think about the skills associated to the tools that you use. Say there's 10 tools that you use on a daily basis, even a weekly basis. You got them all listed out. Now I want you to get strategic with the skills that you need in order to develop around those tools. So, for example, inside of Claude Code, I have these three different skills that I've been using. One is called the Next Level 100X. Another one is called Think Big. Another one's called Next Level Content. Each of these three skills does a certain thing for my business. It has different agents and different needs inside of that. And I have that listed inside my MCP for Next Level UX. Now I have these skills available. They can amplify any of the tools that I use. But if I don't know what tools I'm using, or if I don't know what tools are going to help benefit me in the work that I do, how am I going to make improvement? So we got to understand and do an audit. And you could ask Claude Code or any of your AI favorite tools, and you could say, I need an ask. And one of my asks is I want to be able to have better communication, consolidation, collaboration, continuous learning. Help me learn better ways to amplify my work with Figma, Claude Code, OpenAI, Grok. Help me map my disciplines to the tools and the systems thinking. So if I was to take this prompt and I was to also list out the 10 different tools that I'm using today, and I would ask Claude Code to build me a map of how I use all these tools, and could I reduce the number of tools that I use? Am I using them to the greatest capacity that I could potentially use? I don't know what the output you'll get because of what tools you use, but what I can tell you right now is you will leave today better than what you came in today if you can learn your tools. Get comfortable with your tools. Think about your tools and what are they, and write them down. All these different tools that we have. Your phone's a tool. Write all your tools out. Think about better ways that you can use them for communication collaboration. And remember, tools, people, systems. I sound like a broken record, but it's so important. When I first got really good at the tools that I was using, I started to realize that the capabilities of the things that I could do were so much more unbound. They were so much more limitless because when you can visualize it, when you can visualize the value and can start moving up in your level of your tool usage and how you'd use them to your greatest capacity, it starts to get super fun to be a creator. So that's the first thing, the first lesson of the day you get out of this session. Anything that you do today, make sure that you master your tools. Your company's going to have specific tools that you have to use. Learn them, master them, and then push the boundaries to learn even more tools that serve you. But don't use tools that don't serve you. If you end up getting a tool and then you don't end up using it for another month, that might not be the right tool for you. So drop it. Don't use it anymore. So that's a very important step one. All right, step two, we're thinking about people. Over the last couple weeks and months, we've been thinking about the people that we work with, the relationships that we're building, the people that we're leading. And when we got these people and we have these circles, you start off with a blank slate and you're thinking about, okay, I got multiple circles of people that I'm working with. Like each circle, you got different teams: team A, team B, team C, family. You got team A, team B, team C, you got family, you got different people coming out here. You might have 5 or 6 people in each of these different areas. How do you know what the needs, desires, and wants are of those people and those teams? And then how can you best contribute and serve and help understand the people dynamics of the people that you surround yourself with the most? I think that when you can get out of your own way and understand the people that are going to help you contribute to the greater whole of your goal or to the greater whole of your business, magic starts to happen. So, when you think about that, what skills and areas do you really want to focus on when it comes to, for people side, we have school, corporate, family, friends, alumni, future people that you haven't even met yet. But think about, you're coming in, you're meeting these people, and you're trying to understand them, because if you understand them better, then you can design things that better support those people. So a couple other ways to think about it is when you come in and you know what these people are doing, and then when you can start thinking about, okay, what routines will support these people? What principles do I need to follow to support these people and have governance and guidance? What self rules will I define that says I will do this and I won't do this? I will be this person, I won't be this person. How is it tied back to your identity from week one and clarity? Because when you're trying to reach a next level, mediocrity and mediocre becomes the default when you let it become the default. Don't let it become the default by getting out in front of it and understanding the tools, people, and systems around you so that you can build strong foundations for these things. Like, what are the best rituals for me and my family, my team, my friends? What prolific actions can I take with my teammates, my friends, my corporate experiences? What self rules will help guide me and keep me in check with the things that I'm trying to do and things that I'm trying to accomplish? You just have to be able to map it first. So we got to understand our people. So we got our tools, we got our people. Now let's dive right into our systems. So what are the systems that we create? The systems are the things that are going to help us stay incredibly focused and be incredibly relentless on how we do this. So, like I said earlier, I got skills to help me with the systems. But what we also need is you might need to understand a new system immediately, like day one of your first company. You can have value. You just started your company, or you've been at your company for years, but you haven't yet really put your foot into the game so that you can show what you're capable of. If you wanted to ask Claude Code, I would suggest Claude Code or like Codex and ask this question. You want an extensive, comprehensive audit of my business. You could put in your business name. It could be Next Level UX. It could be a company that you just started. And I want to know how it makes money, how it loses money, what problem is it solving, and what are the biggest opportunities in the industry to help lead it better and produce a non generic, responsive HTML deck that teaches me everything I should know to be a world class operator in this business. Now, if you could just start there and get a preliminary understanding of the system, this could help you if you're in the sports industry, if you're in the medical industry, if you're in the healthcare industry, if you're in the sports industry, if you're in the big tech industry, if you're in personal development industry, whatever industry you're in, you can use this prompt and get understanding of that systems that run those businesses. And again, if you can know how a business makes money and how they lose money and what the competitors look like and who's in that marketplace and what the industry needs and what it doesn't have, you can start to figure out how you can contribute to the greater whole of this business. And when you can figure that out, you start to be valuable and indispensable and bringing in another level of support and contribution to something that you care about. And that's what it comes back to. This isn't about working for the man. This is about working to contribute to a greater whole of the environments that you want to support. What industries do you want to support? What capabilities do you want to amplify today? Because you could do this today. You could zoom out and just be like, all right, today for X company or for X business, I'm going to understand the tools. I'm going to understand the systems. I'm going to understand the people. And you're going to build on that knowledge because look, over the last 11 weeks, when we started in thinking about yourself, remember last week I was talking about leadership is not something you just talk about, it's something you do, it's something you become. Leadership is a way of taking the identity and the role model mindset of who you are and amplifying it. So if you understand your purpose, you understand the priorities, you understand the opportunities ahead, you tap into that identity that you want to live and show up and breathe, and the interactions of how you want to interact with other people and what success looks like. You have a strong foundation. It's the big six. You have that key. Then when you understand your goals around your identity, I'm going to focus on my personal goals. I'm going to focus on my passion goals. I'm going to focus on my career goals. I'm going to focus on my project goals. Now you're starting to build a compound effect. Now, okay, I have to have an underlying foundation of my action plans in order to take on those goals, in order to take on that identity. I have to be able to have a strong foundational support to build it. Then I need to be able to integrate practices so that I can get better and better and better. I'm not going to be professional the first day that I start something new. But remember, you're tying these things to contributing and feeling alive and doing the things that matter most to you so that no time wasted. You're getting after it, you're doing the work. And now that we have this strong foundation to work off of, we learned about strategic directions with design energy and how we really are architecting how we want to flow throughout the week of our actions and our tasks for the weeks and the months. And then we also looked at what that design clarity could look like. Because when we're working with people, tools, and systems, there's a lot of other arching things that go around us. We have to have more increased awareness. When you have more increased awareness, you become more capable of things that you can improve and things that you can make better. And as we go through that, you're going to have to put in that work for clarity so everybody knows what to build. But then when you get into the state where you have to think about productivity because you can do a lot of stuff, but that doesn't mean you're moving the needle, you have to be able to be prolific and move the needle on projects that matter most. How do you know if you're working on something and you're building a great action plan to do it? You got to understand how to think about the impact that you're creating. And to get the impact of what you're creating, you need benchmarks. You need to continuously learn. You need to understand the design life and system awareness around you so that you are putting energy towards things that actually are contributing. And then once you have that, you can tie it back to purpose, you can tie it back to leadership, and then you're back to tools, people, and systems. And now you can just cook and you can create and you can just be at your very best. And if you can be at your very best, then you can start having this compound effect where every month you're going to get better and better. And this week we are training on tools, people, systems. Next week we'll be training on reflection. So when you dive into the work that you do this week, take some stock, write down the tools, people, and systems. You can grab, like, put them in front of your desk, write tools, people, and systems. So you can get after this. Tools, people, systems, write them out, and then start to catalog and organize what it is that you're doing. That way you can at least have an idea, be like, oh yeah, I spend too much time doing this. I'm spending too much time doing that. And then you can start building a better creatorship for yourself so that you can reach that next level of growth. And this is systems creation. This is systems awareness. And once you can do this, it helps you become a better father, a better creator. You're having more awareness of your surroundings. And if you can have more awareness of your surroundings, you can connect the dots a little bit better. And if you can connect the dots a little bit better, then you can be a better creator. And that's what I want for you. That's what I'm rooting for you. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll continue with the next week's final training for the reflection workshop. And just let me know if you have any questions. You can always DM me down below. And if you enjoyed more of this content, I have more content inside the library. And that's it. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Go get it. Let's get back to it.